Why are Democrats, and some Republicans I might add, so desperate to stop Trump from getting elected again? They say it's to save democracy, which is absurd when at the same time they're trying to remove him from the ballot. As I pointed out in my video, Biden 2024, the anti-American political campaign, you can't save democracy by thwarting democracy. That's like saying, I'll protect this window by throwing a rock through it. It just doesn't make sense. So why are they so desperate to stop the second rise of Donald Trump? It's because he would actually be the president. You see, Trump was the first real president we've had in decades. I know that might seem confusing, but there is one thing Joe Biden's presidency really brought to light, and that is the fact that the modern American president is just a figurehead. It's easy for everyone to see that Biden isn't the one making decisions in his administration. But that was also true for Obama, Bush, and Clinton. They were all figureheads. They were puppets. I'm your puppet. Here's the thing. It isn't just Democrats that are desperate, it's also the world elites who use them as mouthpieces and policy pushers. Right now in Davos, Switzerland, at the World Economic Forum, the global elites are having their annual meeting to talk about how they're going to rule the world. And they're afraid that Trump is going to win in November and put a hitch in their giddy-up. Here's how a reporter from Bloomberg described what they're talking about in Davos.
Geopolitical risks and the potential for another Trump administration are dominating the conversations here at the World Economic Forum in Davos. When it comes to Washington, the potential for Trump 2.0 has everyone wondering what would that mean for their economy, especially Europeans. This started on Friday when ECB President Christine Lagarde said another Trump president would be a, quote, threat.
Why would the global elites and people like the president of the European Central Bank be worried about Trump being elected this year? Think about that for a minute. The richest and most powerful people around the world are scared that Trump could be president again. Could it be because Trump would prioritize America over their agenda? These global elites who want to rule the world have Democrats in their back pocket. Democrats, while still trying to hold on to the notion that their party stands up for the little guy, pushes policies that benefit the elite. For example, the entire green energy and climate change agenda hurts poor people and enriches the elite. The easiest way it can be explained is like this. A forced transition into a green energy economy comes with higher energy prices and investment opportunities for the rich. We pay the higher prices, they get richer. And for those of you who will say that green energy could be cheaper, if that was the case, there would be no need for the forced transition away from oil and natural gas. Now, there is a huge difference between how Trump sees the world versus how the political elite see it. Let's compare what career politician Mitch McConnell said about the war in Ukraine versus what Trump has said. At a recent CNN town hall, Trump was asked who he wants to win the war in Ukraine.
Can you say if you want Ukraine or Russia to win this war?
I want everybody to stop dying. They're dying. Russians and Ukrainians. I want them to stop dying.
Now let's see how a political elitist thinks about the war in Ukraine. Here's McConnell on Face the Nation.
If you look at the Ukraine assistance, let's talk about where the money is really going. A significant portion of it's being spent in the United States in 38 different states, replacing the weapons that we sent to Ukraine with more modern weapons. So we're rebuilding our industrial base.
That's what President Biden's seeking to do.
It's correct. No Americans are getting killed in Ukraine. We're rebuilding our industrial base. The Ukrainians are destroying the army of one of our biggest rivals. I have a hard time finding anything wrong with that. I think it's wonderful.
Senator McConnell was almost giddy. Americans aren't dying, so we can use this to our advantage. We can make more money. Now contrast that with Trump's comments. He wants people to stop dying. You see, the elite see every war, every natural disaster, every pandemic as an opportunity to take more control and put more money in their pockets. That's why they pretend the science is settled on climate change, so they can use that as an opportunity. And those are the people who run Washington. And Trump, or DeSantis, or Ramaswamy for that matter, are people who pose a threat to their selfish and power-hungry agenda. An agenda they share with the global elites that are hobnobbing in Davos right now. That's why the Democrats, the global elites, and some Republicans hate Donald Trump. It's not because they think he poses some kind of an authoritarian threat. The threat is to their agenda. A president who puts America first isn't someone a globalist wants sitting in the White House. They don't want a president who puts Americans ahead of their opportunities to make more money and gain more power. I would like to add that it's not necessarily a bad thing to want to work with foreign leaders and the rich and powerful around the world to solve problems. But that's not what the global elites are doing. They're not interested in making the world a better place for us. They're interested in making it a better place for them. And that's an easy concept to understand as a human being. Which people do I care about the most in this world? Unsurprisingly, my family and I are at the top of the list. Look, it's easy to understand why the political and global elites continue to get richer. They're using their power to enrich themselves, and more power equals more wealth. And that makes it easy to understand why they have to stop Trump. His MAGA agenda isn't a globalist agenda. And that's why as long as we continue to elect these figureheads like the Clintons, Obamas, and Bidens of the world, Donald Trump could be the last true president. And that's the simple truth. Hey guys, thanks for watching. And if you all want to support this channel, check out the links in the description, and let's keep putting some common sense back into the great debate.